Okay, for real, the game is happening. We are doing some paperwork over here, but that is Crash Panda. And I believe that is Apache Fist.
Lead Jammer. I think that's Squirrely Temple with a 62, not a 61. That's what's throwing me off. I was like, wait, I don't have a 62.
That is Squirrely Temple, okay.
All right. We're figuring things out.
We will, and right now Squirrely Temple's trying to figure out how to get across a tight Jet City four-wall bump to the outside by Punk Martha Stewart, then the inside by Sia Wouldn't Wanna Be a. Held there to the back, however, managing to earn 3 points. 3 more points. I bet I know what conversation is about to happen. But I'm gonna tell you that if this looks like fun, you should know that Jet City is always recruiting. Our new skater practices are open year-round. If you're ready to take the next step, Jet City has a place for you. Check us out, new skater at jetcityrollerderby.com. We can tell you all about it.
87 Vixen Stones jamming for Jet City. Number 0, Freezer Burn with the star for West Sound Roller Derby. Freezer Burn looking to the inside, pushing on the edge, and did not keep the wheels in bounds. Shenanigans calls cut. So power jam for Vixen Stones. And lead jammer still open and waiting. Direction of play called on Crusher. They did have a lovely block to open the lane. It was just not quite in the right direction. And a low block penalty called on 8-6 Twisted Spinster.
Meanwhile, Mad Medic bumping Vixen Stones to the inside, running her all the way back to the edge of that engagement zone, then coming back up to join her teammates there at the front. Vixen Stones looking for some offense there, gonna find it in the person of Candy Corn, just not quite enough to get through. Meanwhile, Freezer Burn out of the box through the pack, not lead jammer, but that was an excellent penalty kill on the part of the West Sound Roller Derby.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Vixen Stones has made her way through the pack. She has earned lead jammer status.
Once you get the penalty, if you haven't got a lead yet, you don't get to get it later. At least not in that jam. Freezer Burn, shouldering through the outside, gets past Gen X and picks up the 4 points.
Crusher getting called for an illegal contact penalty. Did not see it happen. Cannot explain to you what it was. I bet ATG could, but I'm not going to ask him. Twisted Spinster skating on the outside of the track, looking to make a legal re-entry. Meanwhile, Freezer Burn around 4 points in the sky. Vixen Stones putting up 3 for Jet City for calling that jam off.
15-6, West Sound with the lead.
That's Lil Miss Speedy. Pull it up to the jammer line for West Sound, and that is Velociraptor. Getting ready to jam for Jet City.
West Sound with a 1 skater advantage in the pack, 4 blockers to 3. Little Miss Speedy at the front, held up and let go to grab lead jammer. As Velociraptor works through the pack.
Lil Miss Speedy juking, whiffing just past Mary Contrary, coming through with 4 points in the sky for West Sound Roller Derby. Jet City setting up, Crusher looking to play a little offense. That worked great. Velociraptor taking advantage of a hole there made by Miss Violet No Regard. 4 points in the sky for Jet City. Making that a 4-4 jam, 15-10 in favor of the visiting team. Lots of derby left in this game as Crash Panda pulls up to the jammer line for the first time tonight. She will be jamming against Psycho Sid.
Crash Panda up the inside, bounces off the out. Lead jammer, Jet City Roller Derby. As Psycho Sid clears the pack. Crash pushing towards the pack. A little offensive assist from King Slaya, calls off the jam. 3 points up for Crash. And we've got a 2-point game, 15-13.
Shenanigans checking in, making sure that was indeed one legal pass for the visiting team. 3-1 jam in favor of Jet City. 16-13 is your score. Once again, Squirrely Temple, whose number is now correct on my roster, getting ready to jam for West Sound. Squaring off against Vixen Stones.
Vixen Stones trying to hold on to the inside lane, and it is closed down by legs. And that lets Squirrely Temple grab lead jammer. Squirrely Temple slides across the slab, slips to the ground, now forced out of bounds.
Great teamwork there by Crusher and Sia. Wouldn't want to be looking to run her back legally, but only just so.
And a star pass to Crusher on the Jet City side.
Crusher and Shenanigans looking to do a little slow dance there at the center of the track. A ref who gets taken down is a ref who was in position.
Crusher
is through. That was, however, an initial pass when that star got handed over. Meanwhile, Squirrely Temple was able to put up 4 more points, 8-0 in favor of West Sound Roller Derby. Velociraptor, once again, get ready to take the jammer line. Gonna be up against Freezer Burn, which feels like a very apropos derby name for how cold it is in this building tonight.
Yes, indeed.
It's a great night for Freezer Burn.
One skater advantage in the pack for Jet City.
Velociraptor looking to push up the inside, getting some help there.
This Violet, no regard, holding the back line, but Freezer Burn able to cut through to grab lead jammer. As Freezer Burn back engaged. Pushing forward and clears the pack for 4. And Velociraptor finally clear as well. Pops the star back on the hat. And Freezer Burn. Legal contact coming into the pack, calls off the jam. Did get all 3 points.
Velociraptor manages to sneak through with 2 before that 4th whistle sounds. Those of you who are new to Derby, the first set of 4 whistles is what calls off the jam. All the whistles after that are just for decoration to make sure everybody on the track is aware they are done playing roller derby for the next 30 seconds. Points are only scored through that first time the 4 whistles sound.
Lil Miss Speedy jamming against Crash Panda. Missy looking to the inside, nothing there. Now bouncing back to the out. As Crash Panda pushing up at the front and clears as lead jammer.
Lil Miss Speedy still dealing with the last line of defense in the form of Mary Contrary, just manages to juke and jump her way through. She is out, having completed an initial pass. Crash Panda through. 4 points in the sky is gonna call that jam off. However, Lil Miss Speedy does manage to pick up 1 point before the sound of that 4th whistle. 4-1 jam in favor of Jet City, 32-19 your total score. A little more than 20 minutes left in the half. A reminder that halftime of this game will be last call in the beer garden. You don't have to finish it, you just have to finish making your purchases. So I say, make those plans now. Also, halftime of this game, we will have our drawing for our 50-50 raffle. Make sure you get those tickets in hand as soon as possible. But only if you like money.
Vixen Stones lead jammer for Jet City as Psycho Sid held up in the pack. Sid bumping off a Thrasher on the inside lane. Gets past Sia, wouldn't want to be a Thrasher with the chase down, but Psycho Sid able to break through. Meanwhile, Vixen Stones far into the track, direction of play penalty sends Thrasher back to the box. And picking up the bonus misconduct for not exiting quickly enough. 2-2 jam.
If you remember the official review from the first game, it had to do with the skater exiting expeditiously and in the correct direction in order to make it to the penalty box. Crusher was just judged to have committed that self-same offense. This time ATG caught it right as it happened. Crusher's gonna sit for 2. That is 1 whole minute of pack advantage for West Sound Roller Derby. Hazardous Energy.
Jamming against Freezer Burn. Hazardous Energy's first jam with the star for the night. Hazardous Energy pushing forward. Little shoulder shimmy, trying to get the pack out of the way.
Both teams with exceptional blocking. Both jammers super duper stuck. Hazardous Energy is out first, but Freezer Burn managed to clear those last hips and get declared lead jammer before getting reabsorbed. Hazardous Energy back in the pack as Freezer Burn decides to call that jam off.
And Hazardous Energy picking up the illegal contact penalty, I believe, right at the end.
In fact, it was Hazardous Energy who picked up the illegal contact penalty there at the end.
It's like, you can't hit someone when you're flying.
But you can be hit when you're flying.
You can be hit while you're flying. You just
That's why flying is a risk.
Yes. So Little Miss Speedy with the power start.
West Sound with a power start and a 1 blocker advantage in the pack. Miss Speedy having no problems getting through. Lead jammer status as well. Sia wouldn't want to be going to go join her teammates in the penalty box.
Also called on an illegal contact penalty. And a big shoulder from 5150 Mad Medic to open up the lane for Little Miss Speedy to add 4 points to the West Sound total.
4-2 pack advantage is exactly what you want when you have a power jam of this magnitude. Little Miss Speedy finds a big free friendly lane there on the outside.
That was a pretty duck maneuver by Little Miss Speedy. Hazardous Energy out of the box and back in to play. Rolled all the way back by Apache Fists.
4 more points there for West Sound. 8-0 jam in favor of the visiting team.
46-21, West Sound in the lead with 17 minutes and change to go in our first period.
Squirrely Temple once again pulling up to the jammer line for West Sound next to Lucy Raptor. Getting ready to jam for Jet City.
Into jam number 11. See a release from the box. Squirrely Temple bumped out by Harley. And able to duck through and grab lead jammer. Lucy Raptor tied up but finds room on the inside to complete the initial. And a cut track penalty called on a blocker for West Sound.
Meanwhile, Squirrely Temple bumped to the inside by Sia. Wouldn't want to be a run back all the way to the edge of the engage zone. Squirrely's going to call that off before Lucy Raptor has a chance to pass the hips of any of the opposing blockers. 3-0 jam in favor of West Sound Roller Derby. Little over 16 minutes left in the half. That is 16 minutes to get your 50-50 raffle tickets. 16 minutes to get your final purchases of Georgetown beer and Soundbite cider. And approximately 2 minutes to watch Crash Panda and Sugar Blitz.
50-50 raffle tickets making their way through the beer garden right now. Hey, Crash Panda making their way through the pack and grabbing lead jammer. Sugar Blitz held up at the back, looking on the outside. And gets past Mary Contrary to exit the pack. Crash Panda taps the hips. Jam called off. A 2-0.
Panda with 2 points. They're waiting.
26-point game, 49-23. We're at the halfway mark through the first period of play.
Once again, Lil Miss Speedy squaring off against Vixen Stones.
Rosie Basher in the penalty box to start the jam. And a beautiful closing of the door by Apache Fist, keeping Vixen Stones from that run up the inside edge. Vixen forced to the infield again, and Lil Miss Speedy is your lead jammer. Vixen Stones again on the inside, and again closed down. This time Rosie Basher getting in the way. As Lil Miss Speedy also recycled back.
Both jammers in a super tight pack. Both teams putting on very extensive defense. Vixen Stones with a successful star pass. Crusher has the star. However, Lil Miss Speedy with lead jammer status, 4 points, and the bank manages to call that off. I have become aware that there is a West Sound fan in the crowd with some sort of musical instrument.
Wow.
I need to hear that again. And if it's a triangle or a cowbell, or just magical intentions, but I'm very much enjoying the energy from this crowd right now. That includes the energy from V Lucy Raptor and Squirrely Temple.
Squirrely Temple forced out of bounds, rolled back by Sia. A direction of play penalty sends King Slaya to the box. And V Lucy Raptor is your lead jammer, but forced out of bounds right after lead was declared. And Squirrely Temple, flying and stumbling through the pack, forces the call off. So a 0-0 jam in a 30-point game, 53-23.
3-3-3, Psycho Sid taking the jammer line for the first time tonight for West Sound Roller Derby. Squaring off this time against Crash Panda. 4-3 pack advantage for West Sound here going into the top of this jam.
Jet rolls back to the jammer line. And up the outside, Crash Panda, lead jammer, Jet City. Psycho Sid able to clear as well. Gets past Candy Corn, who was giving chase. Crash Panda stumbles through the middle, calls off the jam. Shenanigans counting. And 2 is the count.
If anyone in the crowd is as old as me, watching Mad Medic pull up to the jammer line is giving you flashbacks to Kitsap Junior Roller Derby in 2012. I personally love it here. Referees.
Timeout called by Jet City.
Scorekeepers would also like to check in. Retro night, choose your decade. And seeing Mad Medic on the jammer line takes me back to the 2010s.
Vixen Stones, Mad Medic both trying the inside. Mad Medic cuts back and is out the front, lead jammer. West Sound Roller Derby. Mad Medic cuts to the inside quickly through the pack for 4. As Vixen Stones passes the star out to Mary Contrary.
Mary Contrary with a juke, a jive, and a roll up the inside line. She is out. Jammer cover on her head.
Mad Medic dropped to the ground, calls off the jam. Mary Contrary not able to get back to score any points. And Shenanigans puts up 4 fingers. 4 more points for Mad Medic, 8 total on the jam.
Back in the day when it was fully.
Squirrely Temple jamming against V Lucy Raptor. And Lucy forced out of bounds. Squirrely Temple lead jammer. V Lucy Raptor held at the front and an apex jump. You know, it's always good when you can stop yourself by running into your own team.
Squirrely Temple with a flying leap that equals 4 points. V Lucy Raptor out of the pack as well.
And Squirrely Temple avoids getting clotheslined by her teammate as well.
It's like they skate together often enough that she knows how to knock that arm out of the way. 4 more points in the sky for West Sound Roller Derby. That was an 8-0 jam in their favor as Lil Miss Speedy comes back up to the jammer line. Facing off once again against Crash Panda. 4-3 pack advantage in favor of West Sound as Crusher is still seated, meaning there is 11 seconds or more left on their penalty.
Crash Panda pushing towards the front and able to shove through to grab lead jammer for Jet City. Jet City losing number 0, Harley Spin to the penalty box.
You're going to hear some penalties called just now because when no pack is called, that means there is no place where it is legal to engage a member of the other team, and if you continue to engage a member of the other team, you will in fact go have a seat. 1 blocker from each team called out for continuing to engage rather than trying to reform the pack and making it legal to play roller derby all around.
Crash Panda gets 8 points and holds Missy scoreless.
Little more than 8.5 minutes left in the half. Once again, reminding you that is the amount of time you have to get your orders in there in the beer garden. You do not have to drink them in that amount of time. You just have to have made your legal purchases. Also, a reminder that our 50-50 raffle does get drawn at halftime of this game. So if you like money and also charities that benefit pets and their owners, you want to get those 50-50 raffle tickets purchased immediately.
Mary Contrary jamming for the first time tonight for Jet City.
Meanwhile, it is Freezer Burn jamming for West Sound.
Freezer Burn pushing towards the front. Mary Contrary held up at the back of the pack. And Freezer Burn able to get free. Lead jammer, West Sound.
Big hit there by Sia Wouldn't Want to Be. It took Freezer Burn down but not out. She was able to recover, get up and run, escape the engagement zone, and come through with lead jammer status. Mary Contrary still fighting a brilliant waterfall there on the part of West Sound Roller Derby. Freezer Burn back in the back of the pack. Dealing with See You Wouldn't Want to Be and says, I have had quite enough of that. 2 points in the bank is well enough. Going to call the jam 2-0 for West Sound.
73-34, West Sound in the lead. 7:20 to go in our first period.
Squirrely Temple once again on the jammer line for West Sound, squaring off against Vixen Stones.
Penalty box currently unoccupied. We'll see how long that lasts.
By our amazing NSO volunteers.
Well, yes.
Vixen Stones does currently have lead jammer status. Squirrely Temple was giving her a hard enough time. She said, maybe not. Tapped her hips, called the jam, says it's time to take a mulligan on that one.
Psycho Sid back out to jam for West Sound against V Lucy Raptor.
I would tell you that V Lucy Raptor is a fantastic traditionally published fantasy author. I would tell you to buy her book, but I would have to tell you her government name.
She doesn't have use the pen name V Lucy Raptor?
She should. I have, however, bought her book.
All right. Psycho Sid scrambling at the front, finds a gap on the inside. Lead jammer West Sound.
V Lucy Raptor knocked to the inside by the West Sound pivot, manages to get up as the pivot goes out. However, Psycho Sid sneaking around the outside. Putting up 4 points, gets a signal from the bench to just keep skating.
I like that Sid sort of stopped like, wait, am I supposed to keep going? Oh, yes, I am. All right, that's fair.
Lucy chased all the way to the edge of the engagement zone there by hits and giggles.
And this time, Psycho Sid calls off the jam, adding 3 to the mix. No points up for Jet City. A 7-0 run now, 34-80 West Sound in the lead with a little over 5 minutes to go in the half.
We are likely to have an official timeout here as we have a medic in the ref lane. We are so grateful to our trained medical volunteers here at Jet City Roller Derby. Beyond my ability to articulate, and let's face it, I talk a lot.
Crash Panda jamming against Lil Miss Speedy. Crash pushing out front, Lil Miss Speedy held up at the back. And a multiplayer called, but Crash Panda is clear and is your lead jammer.
Apache Fist gonna go have a seat for holding on a little too tightly to her teammate.
Missy forced to the infield. Rolls back behind, and Crash Panda 4 points on the board.
Crash Panda was bumped to the outside, but managed to stay upright and inbounds, and that is all that matters. She's got 4 points. Meanwhile, Harley Spin gonna go have a seat with our most popular penalty box volunteers.
Star pass off, Lil Miss Speedy. Handing things off to Mad Medic.
Before Medic even has the star on her head, Crash Panda says, I've got my 4 points. That's going to be quite enough. 8-0 jam in favor of Jet City. A little more than 4 minutes remaining in the half. Vixen Stones is headed back to the jammer line for Jet City, as is Squirrely Temple. Getting ready to jam once again for West Sound. 3-on-3 in the pack. The blocking situation is, in fact, small but mighty. Squirrely Temple sneaking up the inside. Vixen Stones missing the opportunity to sneak up the outside. Gonna get run back there by the birthday skater, Cypher.
Cypher's birthday present, you get to hit people.
That's not a bad birthday present.
Not bad at all.
Squirrely Temple bumped to the inside by Sia Wouldn't Want to Be a, who stops just shy of the edge of the engagement zone.
Harley released from the penalty box just as the jam is called.
And that, friends and fans, is why lead jammer status can be so important. She just didn't want to do it anymore, so she said, I'm done.
2-point jam for West Sound gives us a 40-point game, 82-42. 3 minutes to go in the half. Psycho Sid jamming against Mary Contrary. Slow start. Mary Contrary pops through. Psycho Sid also bouncing towards the outside. This Mary held up. Tripod of West Sound blockers doing a great job of staying in the way.
Punk, Martha Stewart, and King Slayer looking to be the last line of defense, neither of which able to stop Psycho Sid, who is through with lead jammer status. Mary Contrary, meanwhile, star in hand, sneaks through.
Psycho Sid hipped to the infield. Calls off the jam. Mary Contrary able to pick up 2. And
I love the cheering. Give me more. Correct, thank you. We live for a responsive audience over here, as does Via Lucy Raptor and Freezer Burn.
Freezer Burn going to the outside. V. Lucy Raptor in, now trading places. As a penalty called on 77 Gen X. And Freezer Burn will room on the inside, lead jammer West Sound.
V. Lucy Raptor bumped to the outside there by Mad Medic, who does just manage to stay inbounds. Gonna run her back to the edge of the engagement zone. Meet her again. Meanwhile, Freezerburn working with Public. Emily there on the outside, pushes her down and out, manages to get through, putting 4 points in the sky for West Sound.
And a direction of play penalty called on Mad Medic as Freezerburn taken to the track by Harley. And a star pass off to Sia, wouldn't want to be a. Sia star in hand. Freezerburn picks up the points, calls off the jam 8-0 on that one. And we're under a minute to go. Which means you've got a little bit of time left to buy your beer, and I'm assuming the 50-50 raffle is now being counted.
If you are in the beer garden and your drink is getting low, now is in fact the time to queue up. Make sure you have libations for the second half. Crash Panda and Twisted Spinster are going to make sure you have entertainment for the next 2 minutes.
This is Twisted Spinster's first time with the star tonight. Not Crash Pandas. They are lead jammer. Twisted Spencer pushes through. She completes it. Crash Panda jumping an illegal contact penalty, sends Squirrely Temple to the penalty box.
It's the squirreliness that'll get you in the end.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Crash Panda is through with 4.
Oh, and a cut track on Twisted Spinster. So Crash Panda with a power jam, 4 points on the board so far for the jam. Back stretching out. Oh, Mad Medic just enough shoulder to get the foot out of bounds. Crash has to run all the way back. Squirrely Temple out of the box, bringing the pack for West Sound back to full strength.
If you are paying attention to the clock in the audience, you will notice that period time has elapsed. We are on jam time only. This jam will conclude when the lead jammer says so or when the 2 minutes have elapsed, and that time is now. Crash Panda with 4 points in the sky. West Sound Jammer had 2 points in the bank before. That's Crash Panda.
That is, and that is a little Miss Speedy. And that is a Let's Go Jet City cry from the crowd, which is excellently planned. Pack is spreading out. Crash Panda pushing at the front. And his lead jammer after pushing past the birthday girl, Cypher.
Looks like Cypher's gonna head to the penalty box so that the NSOs can also sing happy birthday.
Everybody's getting in on the birthday action.
Be
Crash
joined there by
Panda.
Twisted Spinster.
Crash Panda with 4 on the board. Calls off the jam. And Little Miss Speedy bounces off a Hardly Sane. 2 points up for Speedy, a 4-2 jam.
I love it when the refs catch the box points before I have to. That is Mary Contrary, and that is Squirrely Temple.
Squirrely Temple up the outside for lead jammer West Sound. Mary Contrary clear. Squirrely Temple bumped into the pack, down to the ground. Mary Contrary shoved out of bounds by Mad Medic. Jam is called.
4-3 in favor of West Sound.
100-62, a 48-point game. No, 38 points, right? Yeah.
I don't number. Sometimes he does. I don't get it. That is Psycho Sid. That is V Lucy Raptor.
Given the whole octopus theme, shouldn't it be Psycho Squid?
That would be good.
I'm just saying, maybe Just tweak it a little for this team. Psycho Sid bouncing at the back as Velociraptor forced to the infield. Psycho Sid lead jammer, West Sound. See, you wouldn't want to be open in the lane to let Velociraptor through. And Public Emily picking up a low block. Or inconveniently falling in front of another skater.
Velociraptor through with 4.
Psycho Sid also through with 4, calls off the jam. Picking up 3 more, a 7-4 run. 107.66.
Four 3 pack advantage for West Sound here going into the next jam as Vixen Stones and Lil Miss Speedy are wearing the respective jammer covers for their 2 teams.
Thrasher trying to hold Lil Miss Speedy back. Speedy almost clear and runs smack into King Slaya. And Vixen Stones is your lead jammer.
Lil Miss Speedy had the start in hand, did manage to make that pass over to Hardly Sane.
Vixen Stones, Crusher with the assist. Gets through for 4. That takes Jet City to 70. West Sound at 107 with 25.5 minutes to go in our game. Twisted Spinster back out to jam for West Sound against Mary Contrary for Jet City.
Both teams at full strength, both teams with a full strength 3 wall there at the back. Neither jammer having an easy time of it.
Yeah, very tight defense in jam number 5. Then we slowly work into the turn. Mary Contrary. 2 now 3 to beat at the front of the pack. And finally gets free to collect lead jammer. Star pass by West Sound. Handing it off to number 62, Squirrely Temple. Mary Contrary calls off the jam. A 3-0 run.
Total score 107-73. West Sound still in the lead. Less than 25 minutes left in the game. That is Crash Panda. Once again, pulling up to the jammer line for Jet City. Squaring off this time against Psycho Sid. Penalty box currently lacking skaters.
Poor penalty box people all lonely over there.
It won't take long.
No one to talk to. Ooh, Crash Panda. Take and see, it wouldn't want to be out. Psycho Sid. Not
Psycho
lead
Sid
jammer.
there, knocked down but not out. However, some pass was not upright and inbounds therefore. Crash Panda from behind with lead jammer status says that is quite enough. We are going to try that again. 0-0 jam.
Velociraptor back out to jam for Jet City against Lil Miss Speedy for West Sound. Speedy going left to right and up the outside to grab lead jammer. The West Sound cowbell making its presence known. Ooh, Little Miss Speedy bounces in, back to the feet, through the pack, calls off the jam. A 4-1 run for West Sound, now 111 to 74. Mary Contrary squaring off with Squirrely Temple. Squirrely Temple up the outside edge. Mary Contrary held back, looking for room on the inside, but absorbed by the waterfall. And Mary finds room on the inside edge. Lead jammer, Jet City. Mary Contrary ducks around the outside, calls off the jam. Oh, and an illegal contact call on Squirrely Temple right at the end of the jam.
Power start then for Crash Panda.
Jet City chipping away at the lead, now 111 to 78 with 21 minutes to go in the game. Crash Panda spinning at the front and forced out of bounds. Back in, someone must have been wearing a banana suit because there's a lot of spinning around going on out there. Public Emily bumping to the ground as Crash Panda finally clears and grabs lead jammer. Squirrely Temple out of the penalty box and back engaged.
Meanwhile, Leg is going to go have a seat for a multiplayer blocking penalty.
Crash Panda up the inside, picks up the points, calls off the jam. All four collected on that pass, now 82-111. And Jet City calls for a timeout. Timeout coming to a close. Mary Contrary back out to jam, as is Psycho Sid.
Despite a 4-3 pack advantage in favor of Jet City, Psycho Sid does manage to get through first and pick up lead jammer status.
Mary Contrary giving chase. Psycho Sid bumped out of bounds. And Mary Contrary slashing through the pack for four. And Sid calls off the jam after collecting four as well, so a tie takes us to 115-86. Punk Martha Stewart picking up a penalty right at the end of that jam. As V Lucy Raptor set to jam against Lil Miss Speedy.
Punk Martha Stewart sitting in the penalty box. 4-3 pack advantage for West Sound here going into this jam.
Lil Miss Speedy not able to get past Miss Violet No Regard, but this time slaloms through and grabs lead jammer. V Lucy Raptor giving chase, also out of the pack. Lil Miss Speedy slides out of bounds, calls off the jam. 3 points up for West Sound, 2 points, Jet City. So 118-88. A 30-point lead with 18 minutes to go. Vixen Stones jamming against Squirrely Temple.
Punk Martha Stewart back out of the penalty box looking to help her team out. She manages to help hold that jammer back just long enough. Vixen Stones emerges with lead jammer status.
And Squirrely Temple also out. Chasing down as the pack sets up at the exit of turn 2. Vixen Stones bumps in, calls off the jam. And a 2-2 tie on the jam.
Crash Panda once again wearing the star for Jet City, squaring off this time against Psycho Sid. Both teams at full strength in the pack, 5-on-5 derby, just like the rule book says.
And the pack nicely clumped together at the pivot line. Crash Panda up the middle, lead jammer, Jet City. Psycho Sid also out of the pack. As Crash slips and slides into the pack. Bump to the outside, calls off the jam. Two points for Crash Panda, 0 for Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid getting called to the low block penalty there at the end of the jam. Is going to be a power start for Mary Contrary.
Power start and apparently a pivot line start as well. Is everyone up to the front, pretending it's 2010 or something.
We love a retro moment. Mary Contrary loves lead jammer status.
Getting retro night going early, yeah. All right, Mary Contrary, lead jammer of jam number 14. Challenging the joint between blockers. Now has 2 to get through past shirt whip off of Crusher. And Mary Contrary able to get around Mad Medic to pick up the 4 points as Psycho Sid out of the penalty box. And held up by the Jet City defense. Mary Contrary through the inside. Adds 4 more. As Punk Martha Stewart back to the penalty box. Sid forced to the infield and has to roll back behind. Sia wouldn't want to be ya. Mary Contrary 4 more points, 12 total now on the jam. The Psycho Sid held up at the back.
Psycho Sid had dropped the star, has to pick it up herself. Welcome to put it back on or pass it at her leisure. Meanwhile, Mary Contrary around with 4 more points.
Crusher holding the front line. Oh, and a high block called on Psycho Sid. So a power jam again for Mary Contrary, who was forced to the infield. Mary calls off the jam. Timeout called by West Sound, and we have a 4 more points before he's forced to stand in the tiny box for a jam. All right. Crash Panda with the star, and Crash is through with lead jammer. Despite the board saying Vixen Stones, that's an 8-3 on that shirt. Crash pushing towards the front, bump to the outside. Crusher opens the lane with an assist from 93 Hazardous Energy, and that is 4 more points up for Jet City, taking us to a 4-point game as Psycho Sid finally clears the box.
Crash Panda dealing with a tight 4 while they're up the front. Meanwhile, Psycho Sid has snuck around, completed an initial pass.
4 more points for Crash Panda, calls off the jam, and we are Tied up at 120.
Vixen Stones checks the score as she rolls up to the jammer line next to Mad Medic.
Mad Medic around the outside edge, grabbing lead jammer in a hurry. As Vixen Stones forced out of bounds and rolled well back.
Medic is through for 4.
Star is past the You Wouldn't Want to Be now, holding the star for Jet City. Mad Medic holding 4 more points for West Sound. And Mad Medic bumped by Punk Martha Stewart, calls off the jam.
3 more points. That was an 11-0 jam in favor of West Sound, 131-120. 11 and a half minutes left in the game. Squirrely Temple rolling back up to the jammer line for West Sound. And that is Velociraptor ready to jam for Jet City.
Both teams full strength for jam number 17. 11 and a half minutes to go in our game. Lucy towards the try in the outside lane. Squirrely Temple cuts to the in and finds room. Lead jammer. West Sound roller derby.
Squirrely Temple there into the back of the pack, gets just past King Slaya, bump to the outside, manages to re-enter legally, but is now trapped up by a big tight 4-wall there at the back of the pack.
The Velociraptor finally clear of the pack and rolling towards the pack, but called off by Squirrely Temple, who picks up 3. 14-point game now, 134-120. '87 Vixen Stones set to jam against number 0, Freezer Burn. No pack called as everyone was split apart. Freezer Burn pushing towards the middle, and Crusher called for the penalty. And also given the bonus for the illegal exit, and Freezer Burn is your lead jammer.
Vixen Stones bump toward the outside, manages to hang on, stay in bounds.
Meanwhile, Freezer Burn back engaged with the pack. Miss Violet no regard, forcing them out. Call off the jam, a 2-point run.
Penalty box is signaling for an official timeout. I believe we are going to have a...
Jamming against Mad Medic. Mary starting off a little defensive jammer action. But Mad Medic is out and lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Punk Martha Stewart's going to go have a seat for not disengaging when the no pack was called.
Mad Medic around the outside. Grabs the points just as Mary Contrary clears the pack. And the Medic picking up 4 more. Mary Contrary able to sneak in 1. We're back to 144-121. Crash Panda jamming against Squirrely Temple. Four-on-2 advantage in the pack for West Sound. So Crash Panda playing some defense. And now moving on to offense as the penalty box empties out, and Crash Panda is your lead jammer. Squirrely Temple able to sneak past Sia to clear the pack and complete the initial pass. As Crash Panda rolling back into the pack, comes out the front, calls off the jam. A 4-0.
4-0 in favor of Jet City. 142-125, your current score, a little over 7 minutes left in the game.
An official review called by our...
And we're gonna play 7 minutes and 45 seconds more roller derby right now.
Mary Contrary set to jam against Freezer Burn. Both packs full strength. Freezer Burn held up at the back. Mary pushing the West Sound pack at the front and able to come through for lead jammer. Penalty called will send one skater from each team to the penalty box. Punk Martha Stewart, number 210, Hits and Giggles, both going to sit as Mary slides through and apparently can't stand back up. Now back on the feet.
4
with the
points
4
in
pound.
the sky for Jet City.
It's been a long night.
Indeed.
Freezer Burn finally clear for the initial pass. Mary Contrary outside, accelerates. Picks up the points, checks with the corner coach and says, nah, we're gonna just stay. Freezer Burn out with 4. And Mary Contrary calls off the jam. Grabbing 3 additional points. So an 11-4 run once those 3 show up.
10-point game here with 6 minutes, little less than 6.5 minutes left to go.
Psycho Sid jamming against Crash Panda. I'm sorry, that's V Lucy Raptor. I missed. Saw the wrong number. Everybody bunched up going into the turn, but Psycho Sid out the side. Lead jammer West Sound. The Lucy Raptor forced to the infield. Psycho Sid somehow keeping the feet in bounds. And adds 4 more to the West Sound score.
That Jet City Jammer Cap pass now to Harley. Spin.
Oh, and Harley spin called on the cut track. So a power start.
Be a power start for Squirrely Temple.
$14-point game, 150 to 136. Shanex called for being out of position at the start of the jam. And lead jammer assigned to number 62, Squirrely Temple. Squirrely Temple bumping through, shouldered by King Slaya. And Squirrely Temple is clear, calls off the jam. Now 154, 136, just under 4 minutes to go in the game.
Vixen Stones returning to the jammer line for Jet City. And that is Mad Medic ready to jam once again for West Sound.
Mad Medic up the inside line, runs in to see it, wouldn't want to be it, but stays inbounds and grabs lead jammer. As Vixen Stones clears the pack. Half a lap behind, Mad Medic putting on speed. Finds room on the outside, calls it off a quick 4 points.
For sure. Always been like that.
Right. Yeah. Mary Contrary jamming against Rosie Basher.
Her coaches that West Down four wall is super tight up front. Mary Contrary fighting with them. Meanwhile, Rosie Basher looking to get through a super snug Jet City wall there at the back. Mary Contrary emerges victorious. Lead jammer status, Jet City.
Rosie Basher clears the pack. As number 210 hits and giggles, heads to the penalty box. Mary Contrary grabs 4, calls off the jam. That'll take Jet City to 140, an 18-point game. And we're down to the 2-minute mark. With Crash Panda set to jam against Little Miss Speedy. Crash Panda pushing forward, Little Miss Speedy going left to right, trying to find any way through the pack. Finally clears the Jet City portion, but tripped up, and that lets see it wouldn't want to be a catch back up. Oh, big hit from Mad Medic.
To the inside from Mad Medic.
Yeah. I would need a medic if I got hit like that. Clearly.
There's a reason I'm here and not out there.
Right? Both jammers knocked out of bounds and reabsorbed. And Little Miss Speedy clears first lead jammer. We have more time on the jam clock than the period clock. As Little Miss Speedy on the scoring pass, Crash Panda taken to the ground, and 4 more up for West Sound. Crash Panda now one-on-one with Mad Medic at the front, trying to keep the pack going. As West Sound joins back up, and the jam is called off. Timeout called by Jet City. Whistle blows, away we goes. Mary Contrary out first, lead jammer. Squirrely Temple almost through and does get through finally as Mary Contrary approaching the pack, cuts to the inside for 4. First 4 points of the jam for Jet City. Squirrely Temple sliding into the pack as well and able to get through with 4 of her own.
Mary Contrary squeaks through the onside, 4 points of her own there for Jet City.
Squirrely Temple starts to the inside, cuts to the middle. Mary Contrary around the outside for 4. And a penalty sending Punk Martha Stewart back to the box. As Squirrely Temple is out on the second scoring pass, Mary Contrary recycled to the infield. And finally clears with 4 more. Oh, Squirrely Temple cutting the track. So a 30-second power jam As we are approaching time running out, Mary Contrary cuts through, picks up 4 more. And we are at a 10-point game as the pack is thinning out.
Freezerburn gonna go have a seat for not exiting the track fast enough. Mary Contrary through with 4 more points. Fans should be on their feet.
Yes, they should as time is ticking down. Mary Contrary, one last chance to pass through, gets another 4. But it is not gonna be enough. A 28-point jam and a 2-point game with your unofficial score. We'll wait for the numbers to get 5 as soon as we get our officials off the track.
That means the fans should come forward for your free high fives.
There's a lot of deliberations going on in this MVP.
These skaters take the MVP awards very seriously.
All right, I see Public Emily's got some.
Okay, hello.
We're partway there.
Can you tell me who the most valuable blocker is?
Most valuable blocker is 624.
Number 624.
624, Apache Fist.
And can you tell me who the most valuable jammer is?
Number 4.
Number 4. Hello, Miss Speedy.
Okay, I'm gonna come over here. All right, tell me, who is the most valuable blocker?
That's going to be Miss Violet Notergard.
Miss Violet No Regard.
Violet, nicely done.
And then tell me, who's the most valuable jammer?
That's going to be number 03.
Number 03.
03, Mary Contrary.
Mary Contrary. Now, we're all gonna turn around and we're gonna wave to the fans at home on the live stream. And we're gonna pause for a photo.